Hello, everyone. Stocks today put in a pretty solid session overall. It wasn't anything too spectacular, but if you want to count the intraday reversal off the lows, excellent session. Kind of hard to really poo-poo on it. We could have closed stronger, could have had a stronger finish, but in the final 5 minutes. But overall, it's hard to really complain about how strong today was. There is a slight issue though. The Russell 2000 kind of lagged today, down 0.29%, but that's splitting hairs overall because it had a good intraday reversal. On the other end, though, the Dow Jones Transportation Average was up 0.90%, continuing its shortest short-term relative strength leadership. So that's also very good to see, actually. Obviously, it outpaced the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which closed barely down 0.10%. You can see that volume was lower than the session before. S&P 500 also barely down 0.04%, lower volume the day before. And once again, the NASDAQ slightly up, but volume was lower, so it's not really anything too impressive. So solid day overall, nothing too great, nothing too bad. We are still rallying nicely off those recent lows as we bounce here. The lower volume today is not indicative of very strong follow-through to Friday's follow-through session, but still, we didn't pull back much today. We rallied higher, so it'd be pretty silly to think that we're not going to, at least move probably another 5% higher. But don't forget, we've got a lot of resistance in multiple indexes to deal with. The November, December lows, the downtrending 50, 200-day moving average. There's just going to be a lot of problems coming up. And the biggest issue also for leadership continues to be it's all really in utilities. Wherever you go, it's kind of dividend stocks. You got tobacco stocks looking pretty okay. Can't think of any REITs off the top of my head, so I'm not going to pull any charts up, but there were plenty of REIT charts out there. But outside of that, utilities, they're just breaking out everywhere. I mean, any new utility I can think of, it's breaking out to new highs. There's some that isn't, like DCUB, it's doing the opposite, and D is doing the opposite. But besides that, overall, the XLU, as you can see, working to new highs. FXU, similar thing. And then what's the other one? VPU, I think that's the Vanguard one. Yep, VPU, new highs also. So leadership in utilities and gold, as you see here, it's not that doing that well, but it's rallying well off the lows, and it's had a pretty good 2016 compared to the market. I don't think that that's a sign of inflation. It looks more of a sign of defensiveness because you got the tobaccos, the REITs, the utilities, and gold stocks. Historically, they do well in poor market environments. So as long as we see these stocks leading, we don't see a whole lot of new leadership come about in higher quality, innovative stocks, I just don't see how we're not going to run into resistance. So keep an open mind here. We're under fall through day, but all of our operational models are still under clear sell signals. They probably are not going to switch to neutral unless we get a huge follow-through day, a confirmation of the follow-through day on huge volume with new leadership and breakouts that are actually buyable everywhere. Right now, it's kind of hard to buy some of these breakouts like XRS. This was my favorite from just a few days ago. I told you that the pocket pivot point above the 50-day moving average would have been great if it would have closed higher than where it opened, but it didn't. So I didn't get long XRS on this day. The next day, boom, it's up 6% in one day. Okay, it's a pretty big move in a short time frame. Can't buy that. It's got to at least be able to handle. It'll be beautiful, right? No, just straight up breaks out today to new highs on heavier volume. Everything looks good with it, but if you actually chase a move like this where it's up 11% in 3 days and a tape like this, you're asking for problems and to lose money. So we got to wait to see if this gets a handle. Also, some of my other favorite stocks out there, ELLI. I've been watching it for a few days and should have guessed gone long a few days ago, it'd be up 13%, but it's only now beginning to build a right side of a consolidation pattern. And even though volume is good here on a weekly, it's kind of more important. If you look at it, this clearly is accumulation. You still would rather have seen quieter volume throughout the entire time while this stock was making a base. Also, LXFT, Luxoft Holdings, another consolidation near its highs. It's a perfect speculator qualifying stock, but once again, while it does have accumulation in the bottom of the base with intraday reversals, this would be a better pattern if it had quieter volume. FSLR, similar situation. It actually does have quieter volume, but instead on this right side, it would have been nicer if it had more accumulation. So once again, all these bases that are out there that look decent, there's flaws in all of them. Another leader that's in a perfect speculator scam and is clearly a monster stock, EEFT. Tons of accumulation, pocket pivot point signals within the base. But I tell you what, I would much rather have seen it to be very, very quiet till about right around here, a few days ago, and then we got the pocket pivot point signals and above average volume. So for now, you can see after a move like yesterday, down 4% today, this is going to be your typical action until we get some real accumulation in this market without so much distribution. Don't forget, some of the best turnarounds come following lower volume sell-offs. So normally you get a lower volume sell-off, then you get these heavier volume accumulation days on the index. Instead, what we've seen so far in 2016 was the same pattern we've seen for the past, umpteen years, ever since 2008. Huge volume sell-off, lower volume accumulation. So you can see the volume here is lower than the overall volume on the sell-off. Normally, you want to see the exact opposite. So this market isn't really set up to run, but our long positions look good. Got knocked out intraday of half of my remaining UVXY position when it moved below yesterday's low a day. Same thing with my SDOW position, and then also DRV, RWR in the one account. You can see RWR went up to 88.76. You can see 88.76 is still below 88.98, so I wasn't taken out of the margin account. But DRV in the IRA decided to trade below 20.78, and because of that, I was taken out of half of my DRV position in my IRA, but the rest will be held all the way to here as it's a hedge to the remaining long positions in this choppy market. But on an end-of-day basis today, no sells, no covers, no adds to any of my long positions. There is one new long position that I feel might as well go ahead and try. PLAB. This is a strong stock. Been watching it for a while. I believe, but I'm not 100% sure, that it has been added to the AAII shadow stock portfolio. I'm not quite sure. I got to go look that up, but I believe I saw that posted somewhere. So it's good to see that longer term guys are also into this stock as much as intermediate term traders like I am. But pocket pivot point signal right off the 50-day moving average. Surge in volume, surge in BOP, only up 2.85% today. Our first sell stop is a move below 1170. That will get me out of half the position. And my final sell stop will be with a move below 1144. That will prove to me that the pattern has failed. Hopefully we don't get a shakeout intraday. Hopefully with this market being under fall through day, this will be a little more smooth of a ride. But if it fails, it won't shock me. But earnings aren't until the 16th or the 17th. So we have plenty of time to know if we're right or wrong before that earnings day. But PLAB, that is the only new long position. 1% for being a CanSlim name, 0.5% for being in the price volume BOP scan confirmate. It's a confirmation to the CanSlim qualification. So main scan, CanSlim, wasn't in any other scan, confirmed in my price volume BOP scan. Total position, 1.5% of my account capital. Remember, this is what we're just dealing with here. Under huge, extremely strong follow-through day, this is a 5% position for being in CanSlim, and it's a 1% add for being in the price volume BOP for a 6% position. So that's the difference between this kind of market and a really good market. So that's why I continue to pussyfoot with these small positions on an end-of-day basis. It's about preserving capital, not going for the home runs right now.